Good morning.
Good morning, coffee moaners. I'm putting my TV face on today because actually neither of us feel very well.
It's not that we don't feel very well. Just feel something's tampering with my signal.
Yeah, we are weird. We are weird. Sorry I couldn't do the live yesterday, but I just even now I feel like that. I feel like dizzy, like I could just go.
It's literally like I feel like someone's fiddling my knobs and trying to get a radio station, and I'm stuck.
So is it pleasant?
Well, you would think the use of knobs. No.
Any other men here that might say fiddling with knobs is pleasant?
No, sometimes people fiddle with knobs badly.
Oh God, okay, we've gone too far.
Anyway, so I haven't quite found my full, clean broadcast standard kind of station yet. So anyway, last night was lovely. I spent time, a brief time with and watching Lee Peart did his final night in his residency. As he said, he sounds very Adele, doesn't he, when he says my residency at the Crazy Cox, which kind of feels appropriate because he feels like a crazy cock. And it was his last night. I met up with so many of you guys were there last night. That was so nice. It was so nice to touch base. Of course, what you have to understand for me is you know me so well, and I know you from tiny little kind of. It
is weird
kind of thumbnails.
When people come up and they say, "I'm and we feel bad because, of course, we never see your faces. Good morning, Emma. Nice to see you." And she's calling us coffee moaners.
Oh, thank you very much. So it was really nice. There was a double-edged loveliness because Lee's show is just fantastic. I mean, it's proper cabaret, so talented, funny, self-effacing. He's the star, and I managed to get a really nice shot of him coming through the door with a spotlight. I think you'll quite like that.
Thank you, Helen Askew. Actually, I don't feel better. I still feel rubbish, but I just couldn't do a full power live on my own, which I wanted to be really present for. So that's why we cancelled it last night. But the two of us together can manage something.
We can just about lift each other up. But most importantly, right now, I want to sing happy birthday to the wonderous Ian Nye.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ian. Happy birthday to you. And love to your lovely wife.
Love to you, Michelle, as well.
So we've got some funny videos. We've got some stuff about Trump. We've got some stuff about scary shit for the future. And we've got, what was the other one?
You set off on these little journeys, not fully knowing where you're ending up.
I can't remember what the other one was.
Trump, Universal Theme Park.
Universal Theme Park.
Yeah. So Universal Theme Park, it's like, well, what the fuck is there to say about that other than a Universal Theme Park's coming, which is very exciting. But like Nadia rightly said, it kicks up all that nostalgia, doesn't it, for theme parks and favorite rides. So
the thing that we talk about quite a lot on here about keeping the playfulness inside you as an adult is what keeps you. Yes, we've got to exercise, we've got to lift weights, we've got to eat well. But I think also just for mental youth, you've got to play. Yeah. But so should we start with a funny video?
Let's Zoe just said, Nads, I was excited for your dating chat.
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm going to do it. It's just I couldn't have given. I didn't get up off the sofa.
She was so poorly.
Until I lay there till from 3 o'clock, couldn't make any dinner, couldn't do anything, and then went straight to bed. And felt a bit better this morning, but now I'm spiraling down again.
Yeah, I came in last night from filming Lee's thing, and you hadn't moved. It's very unlike you, very still.
I don't know what I've got, but anyway.
So which funny clip should we lead with? You just said.
I don't mind any one of them.
Well, you just teed something up.
Should we start with our old couple?
Yes.
Do you remember our old couple that we showed you a few days ago? We thought we'd do an occasional series of old people doing their funny bits and pieces, and this is classic, and it's multitasking.
Can I just say I watched this morning, and it really stressed me out. I mean, like, it's not often that clips stress me out. I now understand when some people say when they watch us, they get stressed by a drawer bit. I don't understand the drawer being open bit, but I can see how we can be stressy.
Made bacon sandwiches.
A bacon sandwich?
Do you want a scone? No.
I'll have one of these though. Off. Do you know, you're just a brain.
I will have a bacon sandwich.
He needs it.
No, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it.
Energy up.
He's energy.
Do you have bread?
Not a great deal.
There is bread. Anybody want a hot cross bun?
I don't want any more.
Do you want one?
No, I don't. They're awful. I'm going to complain when they go back there, I'll tell you.
What's that in there? Oh, that's yours.
Not mine.
They're ours.
What pumper Tom.
Yeah. You want 4 slices of bread.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Be careful how you handle it, 'cause it all comes to bits.
Right, I know you handle a loaf of bread.
This bread is shit. It's very good bread.
Did you want a bit of cream on your scone?
Don't keep touching the bread.
Are you having a scone?
Half of one.
A half? Well, we'll have half each. Right, is that enough on there?
Are you having one?
No, I'm not. I've eaten something else earlier. Whose is this?
Mine.
To put your bacon on?
Yeah.
Right.
We're very short of plates.
She's having a tray.
You have a tray.
Oh, a tray. Right. Now, right, now, who likes a bit of jam on there?
But this bread all the wrong way as well.
No.
You should mirror them.
It is a mirror.
That don't be well lit. Look, it's not right.
Is that my one?
No, that's mine. Put your bloody fingers on it.
Are you having jam on your scone? Or just cream?
You can't have both, can you?
Well, I am.
Let me see that.
You should have the best jam.
Aren't you having that on a plate?
This is not mine.
Oh!
It's mine.
Do you want one of these?
I don't want a scone.
He's fat. That's their son. He's so. I love it. I don't want a scone.
He's quite angry, the dad.
Very angry.
Very grumpy.
I think men have to be. We talk a lot about women getting like all
Yeah,
moody with their
yeah.
menopause, but you know what? A lot of men get extremely bad tempered as they get old.
Yes, they do.
They
So do women.
really do. Yeah, but we never talk about
No,
men.
I
We
agree.
talk about women all
No,
the
I
time.
agree.
Getting bad
I
tempered.
agree.
What about men? That are just
Mr.
like,
Grumpy.
Mr. Bloody Grumpy, but I just love the way they go round and round and say, "Do you want a scone? No, I love a scone.
Well,
Do
someone
you want a
someone
scone?"
just said there they literally finish each other's sentences.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's very neatly edited.
Very, very. It is nicely
Yeah,
edited,
it's
isn't
nice,
it?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't want a scone.
It's the life and death aspect to the simplest of things.
Yeah, I just love the real ordinariness of
Yeah.
people. We're all ordinary, you know, but we don't see our own.
We're extraordinarily ordinary.
Yeah, I love extraordinary.
I feel there's an album. I
ordinariness.
feel there's an album in that. It's like Beautiful Disasters and Extraordinarily Ordinary.
Yeah, Pat 1176. That's what makes it funny. Just like my parents. Kathy Hall, she looks very happy and excited to have her son there, I think.
Yeah, Christine Betts says her dad has mellowed with age.
Oh.
Reese, jadedness kicks into full gear for men at an older age, but can be sad because that often means the inner child is withering.
Well, I think that gives us a beautiful segue
Yes,
into
the inner
the
child.
fact that Universal Pictures is coming to the UK.
Bedford, to be exact.
Bedford. Now,
Bedfordshire.
first of all, the newsy part of this is that this is incredible. I was literally like, this sort of thing doesn't happen
Do it
to
again,
this
your boobs
country.
shook.
This will have gone to
You
Paris.
do it again. No.
No, I'm not doing
No,
it again.
do it
I've done it
naturally.
twice.
No, go like this.
That's
go.
it.
No, go.
Right. So
God, sounded like
and
a
I
macaw.
looked at I thought, God, you would think this would go to Germany or this would go to Paris
Yeah,
where
what
they've
the
got
fuck
Disneyland.
else?
Why Bedford? And the thing is, 80% of the jobs have to happen,
In
have to be,
Bedfordshire.
they have to use people from Bedford. So that's a massive injection of money. Great for the economy.
I didn't say the incontinent.
The economy.
It's not great for the incontinent because the rides will make everyone piss themselves.
Kathy Hyde, oh my God, I can't wait. Also, it gives all those people that have had to listen to people that have gone to Universal in America, of course, it's hugely expensive, that you can now, go. Well, I don't know how long it's going to take to build. So we went to Universal.
No, they say
Pictures.
it's going to be ready in 2031. And what I like about this year as the year for it to be ready, I now know what I'm doing in my 60th year.
Wow.
I'll be 60.
We're going.
And we're going. And we're going to, so I've got all the details here of what they're actually
goody.
building. It sounds good. Universal officially moving forward with UK theme park. This has been mooted for a long time. You could argue that the Killjoy Tories just didn't want to press the go button.
I
on this.
wondered if the tariffs were going to have any play on it.
Well, I wonder about that too.
Well,
Now,
let's not think about that.
let's just qualify this. After things like, what was the awful H2, was it? And all that kind of stuff. We don't have a good track record of projects being built, landing on time, landing on budget and going smoothly. This is still subject to securing planning approval, which is the part of it that for me is the small print that makes me slightly worried. It's going to be a 476-acre site just outside Bedford, which means it's 60 miles northwest of London, which, if Stansted's anything to go by, is really London, isn't it? This is a special and historic milestone. It's going to have lots of themed areas. It's going to have a massive, massive hotel that can house, I think, something like 5,000 people or something like that. But as you say, Nads, I mean, the thing about it now, I'm being a purist and I don't want to be a killjoy, but the thing for me that makes Universal in LA specifically is that it is literally attached to the movie studio. So for movie nuts, there's that added frisson of, oh.
But they're not going to not think about that.
No, they'll have themed rides. They'll have all of their kind of minions and all
so I get a bit confused with what was Disney World and what was is Universal the one where we
Jurassic
drove around?
Park,
yes.
Drove around on the thing, Fast and the Furious, the Minions, the Simpsons.
So they'll recreate those studio bases.
Yeah, but the thing that makes Universal Studios, the tour, so good in LA is that the tour isn't just the theme park. You go through the studios. You could go on the.
They do an amazing.
We went on the Modern Family set and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they do an amazing Halloween there. So now they'll do that here.
Yeah, but they close it all off and they put The Walking Dead in there.
Yeah,
so Walking Dead Halloween maze.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, to go back to that playfulness and to ties in with that miserable man. He has not got, I mean, I love him, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't appear to have a playful bone in his body. I don't know. He might do. He might have something that he does. But
Reese Roberts also says, this is a good point. Yeah, that's true. And you often can spot stars sometimes in the theme parks. Well, better than that, because all of the studios in LA have kind of visitor areas. You know, some are less developed than others. Universal obviously is the biggest. Warner Brothers has one. And when we were on you weren't there, me and my mum were there. On the Warner Brothers lot, Ellen DeGeneres famously accelerated her car at me and my mum to get us out of the way. Literally drove past and the guy went, oh, look, there's Ellen. You could tell he didn't like her.
But the thing is, people that will go here will never know those stories.
No, so this is a theme. All right, this is a theme park. But you see, okay, what's your favourite theme park in the UK? Because if I'm honest, I've always found them a bit shabby.
They are a bit shabby. I mean, I remember when we first went to America, we went to Disneyland, and what I was so impressed by was you were not aware of backstage. So everyone was fully dressed up. Like even when you go to the ticket bit, it's all done out in whatever the theme was. Sorry, my brain's.
Yeah. So when we went through the palace, that Cinderella, Kiki was so smitten with her.
Yeah. You're never backstage. You don't see the bins. You don't see that everything is like it's another world that you're stepping into. And America does that, unlike us. So where was it we went recently? Oh, right. I know. We stayed in a diner coming back from, and it's going to be in the vlogs.
Oh, yes, coming soon.
Bristol.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Bristol.
And that was the only place I've ever been to in this country where all the staff were as present as they would be in America.
Yeah.
It's the most amazing diner. It's a stopover hotel, motel on the motorway. And the food was just like America, wasn't it? It was like, and as none of us are going to America now because the way America's behaving, we're going to look for these little islands of America.
Yeah, no, look, lots of people here, and I'm pleased you're saying this because it means that Nadia won't call me the killjoy. Everyone's saying that British theme parks are pretty shit. They're pretty shabby.
Yeah, they're shabby.
When I was a kid, my nan and granddad used to take me up to Cleveley's, just outside Blackpool, and we used to go down and do the illuminations, go on the trams. And Blackpool Pleasure Beach was like my Margate. And I remember they used to have the wild mice there. And I remember there being a story from the 60s or the 70s that wild mice flew off once. And I was told this, I think by my nan, as I was getting on the ride. Oh, got to be careful when they do the hard right turn. You know, they can fly off. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
So there was always
I'm very, very nervous of things. We've had a lot of really horrible accidents. Really horrible. And just last year, do you remember when Maddie was at the Brockwell Park?
Oh my God, I was in America and the news. Oh my God, that was awful.
Awful.
The Brockwell Farm Fair or whatever it was. And one of the things flew off. And I literally got this. You'll see it in our New York vlog. Me and Nanny Di were moving from one part to another. headline came in, I was ringing you all, wasn't I? I was going, fucking
Classic
hell.
Mark. We're here and we
They
10 minutes.
hadn't heard the story yet.
But yeah, so I am very, very anxious, if I'm honest, with not all, but some theme parks. But more to being playful, like, you know, they're
Dream
not
land,
necessarily going on you don't necessarily have to go on the big rides, but just like entering into, like, I really look forward to going with the girls and just going. Do you remember when we went to Disneyland and we said to them, just for the day, we said, we're kids too.
Yeah.
And
well, I didn't really change.
we are just going to not stop eating shit and running around. We're going to try and have loads of food colouring so that we behave really badly. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And we kept on eating past them. They were like, yeah, well, stop it up.
Remember that temper tantrum I had when you wouldn't let me go and stroke Goofy?
No.
A bit silly. Do you remember that photo we got at the end of me on the floor with my eyes completely? The girl, I looked Disney-fied.
We were so Disney-fied.
Yes.
But, you know, if you can't go to Disneyland and you can't go to a big, expensive theme park, how can we play more? Like, on a daily basis, how can you be playful?
I do think
And
the idea behind
sometimes
them
when
is,
I feel myself being a bit too stuck in my head and thinking about whatever I'm doing, I literally, something funny might be happening. Say Mark's being silly with the girls or something, and I'll find myself locked into a place, and then I just go, oh, and I just think, just be silly, just join in.
Yeah, and I do think that's the idea.
And that guy there was the classic. He wasn't just, he could have started giggling about the scone and everything, but he was so locked in.
But I mean, obviously there's always money behind all of these big ventures. It's great for the economy. Then Universal want to make money. But let's put all that to the side. One of the things that these areas do allow you to do once you've paid the ticket and you're not queuing and you maybe got a VIP pass, because there's all those other elements, aren't there, which are hideous. But say you're in and you're relatively unfettered access, it is an opportunity to, and I think it's a really good idea what we did with the kids actually, to do it with yours, is just say, I am actually going to throw myself down to their level and just indulge. It's a bit like Westworld, isn't it? Go in and just be a kid. So I think the idea behind it is so good.
You can do that in the park.
Yeah,
you can do that in your garden, you know, just like, so say like you're getting out the water pistols, right?
That's not a euphemism, no?
I was thinking about this, that we should get water pistols again for
just
the summer.
Because
our girls are like 22 and 17 and just go mad. Just go stupid mad, especially girls and young girls and boys, you know, they're all like want to be cool and want to be, and just break it down a bit. Like if you're teenagers, like really stuck in them, just be really so silly with them.
Last summer, Maddie had friends over and they were here and they were quite, you know, I mean, I say this in the nicest way. If you actually listen to what a lot of kids talk, they're so fucking boring. Anyway, so they were going on and it really mattered. It was so dramatic and important. And I was like, oh, anyway, so I was rogue in the garden with this sprinkler. I literally I didn't do a constant curve. I just did a boop, and I heard one of them go, oh, is it starting to rain?
Were you visiting yourself up?
Yeah. Oh, I've just been touched by something. And I went, arc. Maddie was furious. Dad!
Did you get playful afterwards though?
Not really, no. This is the thing. I think,
or like get a paddling pool and just be really silly in the paddling pool.
When it's unexpected. Oh, actually, it was so nice to see you. I posted a little selfie last night together. It was so lovely. I got starstruck actually.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's weird when we bump into some of you guys. It's so weird because it's not like, it's different than if you meet somebody that's seen you on the telly. Because you instantly know when it's somebody that you meet that's on YouTube or Instagram, they know you in a different way than they do. Because on the telly, because on the telly, you have to be so like, you know, controlled and like just quick. You just have to say things in a few minutes. But so it's very different. You suddenly think, the worst thing is when you guys come up to us and go, oh, I watch you on my big telly. Because every time I go, oh, Jesus Christ, what does our house look like? What is it? It was like today, he was very unshaven. I said, as a friend, you need to go and shave because like on a big screen, that looks terrible. Oh,
actually. Wasn't it a good evening, actually? It was really good fun. It was just so lovely.
Oh, made my night, sir. Okay,
so that was, well, let's sort of move out of funniness via.
We've got a funny one for you at the end, though.
Is that this guy?
We'll do that. Yeah. We've got two.
Yeah.
One.
No, I'm trying to work out what the fuck that one is. Oh, that's Big Brother. Yeah. I just want to show this. Re Trump. Trump is running around saying every country is licking his ass.
Oh, he makes me so ill.
Well, let's hear him. He says, I'm having my ass licked. He says.
1 second.
Countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
Oh,
Can I tell you
I
what
hadn't seen that.
Yeah, it's very hard to find the footage from last
Right,
night.
guys, please boycott America. Do not go there.
Well, we can't
He's
have
the
Universal then.
biggest bully. He is a bully, the worst kind of. He bullies and then think of the bullies.
I'm
that
telling you,
saw
these
at
countries
school.
are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
Hang on, you know when he says,
Oh my
please,
God.
sir, please, sir. You know what I saw just then? I saw white plantation owner.
Yep.
You know, that horrible...
He's a white supremacist.
Yeah.
He
We're
is
going to talk in
vile.
our Gaza today.
He's vile.
How if I see, I'm literally just going off for a minute because just to get
I
it
will
out.
not go
Otherwise,
to America, not for
homeopathically, I'm
anything.
going to be ill. If I have to look at Benjamin Netanyahu like the cat that's got the cream sitting
One
in the
more
Oval Office
time.
one more time, it's the most
Those two
disgusting,
big bullies.
repulsive image one is ever forced to see. Sorry, it's a bit of a segue.
Rachel, tell Universal to piss off then.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but the thing is
No,
about
exactly.
Universal is it's bringing, don't forget, he's stealing money from everywhere with these tariffs. It brings money here that is desperately needed, and Bedford would do really well from that.
And
So
also,
you-
what I mean, I think it's fair to say that a couple of sectors or certainly areas of America that are not pro-Trump, even though they're pro-big money, is interestingly, many of the traders in New York, in the city, they're having an absolute clusterfuck. There are many people are making money out of it, and also Hollywood. Yes, rich, but and lots of business execs and all and what have you. But they're just diametrically opposed to the very ethos of Trump, because Trump wants Sylvester Stallone films from everyone, stuff like that. Just give me. But in answer to that, I just wanted, is anyone else wondering where
People
the
are
Democrats?
saying won't set Nora won't set foot in America while he's in power. Neither would.
Oh.
Do you know what? Even if I got offered 2 million, 10 million, say I got offered 10 million to go and do a show in America, I swear I would say no.
I'd do it.
I would say no. I wouldn't.
No, I'm joking.
You have to have your moral
Of course
code.
you do. I'm
No
joking.
fucking way.
Well, on that note, is anyone else wondering where the Democrats are? But apparently we found footage. We found some footage. The Democrats last night Amazon they don't have any information on where they can be. That's the end of the Democratic.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. My God.
Staggering off into the distance.
Anyway,
Okay, and finally, just on Trump, because we're then going to move off that, are we? Yeah, onto scary AI. Nadia sent me this and said people are worried about Trump. Can you make sense of this?
Ran out the healthy arms. You ran out of really healthy. They had great arms, but they ran out. It's called sports. It's called baseball in particular, and pitchers, I guess you could say, in really particular. But the starting rotation during the National League Division Series, this scrappy Dodgers bullpen shut out the Padres, saved the season, and forced Game 5.
He's talking baseball, but it's not coherent. He's obviously had something written for him, and a lot of the terms that won't be understood to the Brits are strong arms and the third. But it's,
thanks, America.
It's dribble.
Thanks for voting him in.
Ashley.
Twice.
Lee,
Twice.
I hope you're well, Lee. I hope you're feeling proud of yourself today.
Oh.
Genuinely didn't understand a word of that.
No, not a word. Not a word.
He's a great big giant what's it. That's what he
really is.
What is he? What's
A
it?
giant what's it?
Okay, so
Mark
this-
says you were wonderful last
Yes,
night.
absolutely.
Well done, honey.
Yeah, well done, you. Well done. Really good. It looks fantastic. Sounds fantastic. You were brilliant. What was I going to say? Oh, right. So this story is a curious one. This was just in The Guardian today, and I'm just going to read out the sort of headline on it. The UK is creating, get this, murder prediction tool, a murder prediction tool, digital tool, to identify people who are most likely to kill. Just think about that. They're creating a murder prediction tool to identify people, not that have killed, but are most likely to kill. Algorithms allegedly being used to study data of thousands of people in projects critics say is chilling and dystopian. The UK government is developing a murder prediction program, which it hopes can use personal data of those known to the authorities to identify those who are most likely to become killers. Researchers are alleged to be using algorithms to analyze the information of thousands of people, including victims of crime, as they try to identify those at greatest risk of committing serious violent offences. The scheme was originally called the Homicide Prediction Project, but its name has been changed to Sharing Data to Improve Risk Assessment. Now, this is the Ministry of Justice, and not surprisingly...
No, sorry, can we just take a moment? So it was called the Homicide Prediction Project, and is now sharing data to improve risk.
Talk about management speak.
If that doesn't tell us everything about the way that we are
controlled. Anyway, so obviously public safety campaigners have called it chilling and dystopian. A pressure group called State Watch discovered the existence of the project
through freedom of information requests. So this was all secret.
Now, the Department of Justice is saying we're only going to be operating from data that's from people who've already committed crimes. But I just want to pause for a second there. They're also looking at data, and there's an emphasis on ethnicity in the data. The data they're looking at is age, gender, and ethnicity. And the reason this is a bad thing, I think, Michu, I know you're kind of, I don't know if you are in tech, but the reason I think this is a bad thing is who is programming? There has to be a human hand using this tech and deciding what the terms of reference are. How can you, in any sensible way, and how can you ensure that it is foolproof, predicting a killer? And what do you then do with that information? It's not necessarily about what they're trying to, if it's just a sort of flat, let's hook up the information, let's find the information. But what is going to happen to this data?
Yeah, because it can be manipulated. That's the thing. Farida says, putting my stats hat on, most data in the system is from white males at the moment. But can you look at what's happening in America now, right? Who could have imagined that what is happening is now happening? People torn out their homes, rounded up on the street, people just disappeared. People are being disappeared. Yeah. Yesterday, Trump said he would be very happy to send Americans to El Salvador prisons. Because if somebody's like pulled out a knife, or if somebody, well, look, I get it. You're using those big headlines, people that murder, people that rape, but also think again about everything, all the lies that he's told, and how he can manipulate, and how that can get so out of hand, because in 2.5 months, things have got massively out of hand in America. There's one particular man who has been accused of being in the gang, an El Salvadorian gang. He's not, and they've since admitted that it was a mistake. He's now in an El Salvadorian prison in a hellhole, and America is saying, "Oh, it's too late. We can't get them back." A judge has said, a proper judge in a proper court has said to the government in America, that guy needs to come back. And do you know what Trump's people have said? Well, you better ring the president of El Salvador then, because he's in El Salvador now and there's nothing we can do to get him back.
Yeah.
And so I probably am much more chilled by this because of what I'm seeing in America. And we do take our freedoms for granted yes. because we've never felt the risk of really losing them. But the International Court of Justice now has been deemed nothing.
Right, okay.
War crimes are just like, okay. This could be used by very bad people.
Okay, so Michu, this is an interesting point that you draw. It's the same basic principle as predicting consumer trends.
Scary.
Therein lies the problem.
Scary.
It's not about consumer trends. It's about people's behavior and potentially people being wrongly tagged, marked, or eventually, as Nadia says, when regimes change, and we have to get past this idea that our regime could not change.
No.
Our regime could change in a blink of an eye if reform got in, if they could, and look at how repressive so many of the ideas are around migration. What happens when they predict consumer trends? Certain messaging is then pumped towards certain people, certain ideas, and let's look at advertising as propaganda. you know, you start to be targeted with certain types of messaging, and this is my worry.
And that isn't the plan now.
No, that's not
but it's
necessarily
more
that's
about
the plan.
What could happen? For example, right? Islamophobia is a massive thing here, but the world has done a brilliant job of people hearing Muslim and hearing terrorist, Muslim terrorist, right?
They're just interchangeable.
People sometimes say that to me because my father is Jordanian. My father's not Muslim, but the very fact that he comes from the Middle East, there is lots, you know, our kids have said in the past, people go, oh, when they've said that they're like their mum is half Arab, they go, oh, bomb, bomb, bomb. You know, so just think about that. Just think about that and think about the way that America is going. And they were, X amount percentage of Muslims are terrorists. So are you genetically predisposed? That's what scares me. And you could take any race and find something.
A couple of points that I'd like to raise. This is an interesting one from Ellen. You know, in Holland, they did a census pre-World War II asking a religion. All the Jews were then easily identified and killed later. Never fill out those ethnicity, religion forms, etc.
Oh,
and that's interesting.
Interesting.
And the other point I'd like to make about this is let's just for a moment just superimpose the idea of how Israel has managed to transform any criticism of a rogue genocidal state. So if you criticize Israel in any way, you're apparently the accuser is always anti-Semitic. They've managed to make the equation. We know that's not the case, but in the mainstream with government and with legislature, they're pushing for the idea that any criticism of a rogue state is anti-Semitic. So let's replace anti-Semitic with potential killer of Jewish people. This is where it starts to get dangerous if you have a database of all these people that some politically skewed group at some point can take advantage of. And I think just finally on that.
And 1 second, Mark, they say it's to protect us more. Well, do you know what I would prefer? I would prefer that actually we have a police force that is able to protect us more. As we know, if a car gets nicked, we don't hardly bother to ring the police. Nothing's going to happen. If a woman is sexually assaulted, every woman I know that's been sexually assaulted, that I know personally, has not told the police because there's nothing they can do. We have a really urgent problem right here, right now.
Yes.
Where apparently there's not enough money to finance the police. This sort of thing, you know, when they say it's to protect you better, can you protect us now, please?
Well, exactly. Someone just said, we know that a lot of people who commit coercive control and domestic abuse can go on to kill. We don't, what more statistics do we need around providing some kind of provision for those people? Also, Dawn Decker makes a really important point that I think lots of advocates of AI like to ignore and circumnavigate. AI can be trained to confirm bias, and this is the major concern here. State Watch, which is a pressure group against the kind of control of data and the taking of data from us, says data from people not convicted of a criminal offence will also be used part of the project, including personal information about self-harm, details relating to domestic abuse. Whilst officials strongly deny this, the government says the project is at this stage for research only, but campaigners claim the data could be used would build bias into the predictions against minority, ethnic and poor people.
And people with mental health conditions.
Yes.
As well, because there's stuff in there about
Let me give you a
suicide.
small example. So, for example, because I've been diagnosed with bipolar, my ability to get life insurance is massively hampered because they just put in the box, suicide possible, suicide likely.
20 years of sobriety doesn't get you good health insurance,
in fact,
which is outrageous.
What they look at 20 years sobriety on a piece of paper as, and this is the fucked upness of this system, is they look at that and they go, oh, he was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Not that he's been sober.
So healthy for 20 years.
So if I was just a normal drinker and much more unhealthy with a hidden mental health problem, you get it. It's just as fun.
Yeah, insurance companies do it now. Yeah, it's just, I think, this is what I think. I mean, I don't know anything about data. I don't know anything about, you know, I am literally, this is just a human response to something that I would not be having so strongly if it wasn't what I'm seeing going on in America. And that's why I think it's really important for people to really watch what is going on in America, because it reminds us that our freedom is really precious, and we have to things like, you know, the right to protest, things like that we've always had. when you lose that, that's a big deal. You know, that's a really big deal, and it leads on to something. So now I'm really uncomfortable with the idea of this, because I see how it could be used in the future if we got a Trump-like person in. Which is perfectly feasible.
It falls into the wrong hands. Okay, well let's end on a
let's
funny.
end with a funny.
This is part of Nadia's very entertaining. What happens to you when you're 40?
I don't know what the bass players look like.
Excuse me, what happened? I have no clue.
Well, that was actually a nice tuck and roll.
Yes, it was, but how did that even occur?
Well, I know.
How did that even occur?
She goes, what happened? He goes, I have no clue.
So this is a
and
man.
then she says, it wasn't even like there was a curve.
No.
Watch it again.
So I'm going to watch it again. So if you're listening, this is a guy standing and he then just falls. Oh, sorry.
I don't know what the bass players look like.
Excuse me, what happened? I have no clue.
Well, that was actually a nice tuck and roll.
Yes, it was, but how did that even occur?
Well, I know.
That was a nice tuck and curl. It was a nice tuck and curl.
It's not even
I
a
love the
curve.
Americans. There's not even a curve.
But that whole film reminds me of something else. Now, when you get past a certain age and you do go to fall, they become more dramatic, because what we do in our head says, let's spread it across as much land as possible, so I don't really hurt myself.
Put your arms down. Sliders. Just one word, dear heart. Sliders. Sliders and flip-flops.
Yeah.
Do not wear them. They're for teenagers.
Yeah, really, sliders are lethal footwear.
They really
Okay.
are.
All right, guys.
Anyway,
Well, look, have a lovely day. We will be uploading a Gaza conversation. I don't think it's going to be live, but we will be uploading a pre-recorded Gaza update. And you've got the second part tonight of the bedlam of us putting together a spa. It's very funny.
Oh, God.
All right, guys. Bye.